Are we live now?
Yes, it's live, showing live there.
Okay. All right. Good evening, dear viewers.
Hi, we are live on Facebook now. You can start.
All right, fine. Good evening, dear viewers. On behalf of Team Enajori, I, Roshmi Saikia, would like to welcome you all on our Tuesday talk with eminent speakers from the numerous field of art and craft who has made a mark on their own in their respective genre of work. For those viewers who are new to our platform, Enajori is a non-profit organization founded by Mr. Milind Doctor in 2017. The objective of this platform is to connect, engage, encourage, and promote various initiatives of different kinds that are striving for social change, honing leadership skills, and building entrepreneurship in Assam and the other northeastern states. For the past few months, we have been engaging with our mission through our virtual platform where we invite individuals of high appellation from various fields to share their journey of achievements and success stories, to make believe nothing is impossible, to learn and unlearn from their success and struggle, and to understand that everyone passes through various obstacles in order to reach the level of success and failure. I, Roshmi Saikia, having an experience in various fields like banking, telecommunication, multimedia, also would like to take this opportunity to shower my gratitude to my young and energetic team comprising of Ipsita and Teja. Painting is an art, and art for me is about expressing inner beauty, expressing ideas as well as emotions, and bringing out the joy of happiness through pen and paper and various colors. And here I present before you our guest tonight who does exactly that. A self-taught artist, Shantanu Hazarika is well known for his doodling and is an illustrator based in Delhi. Crowned the best doodle artist in the Red Bull Doodle Art Championship among 33,000 global participants in Cape Town in the year 2014 when he was only 23 years old. Worked with Raftar and Divine, a hip hop artist. He also has shared space with legendary film actors Mr. Amitabh Bachchan at a project which was an NDTV Clinathon initiative. And apart from that, he has also done various other projects with Adidas, with the Ministry of Culture, Zoom Cars, is to name a few. So here I present before you our one and only, that is Shantanu Hazarika himself. And Shantanu, welcome to our show.
Thank you so much for that lovely introduction.
All right, it was my pleasure. And আমি ইয়াতে অসমীয়া আৰু ইংলিশ দুটাই ক'ব পাৰো. So, you know, our conversation will be very like casual. And, you know, তুমি মানে তোমাৰ আমি definitely ইমান গাল বস্তু তুমি কৰিছা, which I don't want to actually, you know, come back stating while I was introducing you. I wanted to hear from you. So tell us firstly about your, you know, childhood days. মানে সৰুৰ পৰা তুমি মোক আমাক গোটেই তোমাৰ যিমান audience আছে, so that they know what you have been doing, what are the things, where have you studied, where are you from. So we want to just over to you, Shantanu.
All right. So thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everyone for from the Enajori team for having me over, and to all our viewers who have tuned in. So moi Guwahati dangor hua. মই স্কুলিং কৰিছিলো মাৰিয়াছ পাব্লিক স্কুলৰ পৰা আৰু at a young age actually মই আৰ্টৰ ইনভলভ এনেকে নাছিলো so I never thought that art would be something which I'll be doing for rest of my life or I'd be doing professionally মোৰ কাৰণে আছিলে that I was supposed like I was a happy kid I sports খেলিছিলো school গৈছিলো just drawing to মাজে মাজে কৰো আৰু but I was heavily influenced by comic books so মই কমিক বুকছ বহুত পঢ়িছিলো আৰু মই কি কৰিছিলো কমিক বুকছ ক্লাছ 2 3 বা 1ত যেতিয়া মই মানে অলপ বুজিব পাৰিছিলো কমিক বুকছবোৰ কি হয় বা যেতিয়া নাছিলে আমাৰ ইমান এক্সেছ কমিক বুকছ আৰু ইণ্টাৰনেটটো একেবাৰে নাছিলে চ' পাণবজাৰত ছেকেণ্ড হেণ্ড বুক ষ্ট'ৰবোৰত সেই পুৰণা কমিক বুকছবোৰ বিকিছিলে মই সেইবোৰ সদায় কিনিবলৈ যাওঁ পইচা জমা কৰি কৰি পেলাই সেনেকে কিনো আৰু সেই ড্ৰয়িংবোৰ মই কপি কৰো চ' মই সেই কপি কৰি কৰি সেনেকে মানে হেবিট থাকি গ'ল আৰু এনেকে এনে স্কেটছ কৰো ভাল লাগে কৰি পেলাই লগৰবোৰক দেখাওঁ লগৰবোৰে এপ্ৰিচিয়েট কৰে অলপমান মানে ভাল লাগে আৰু মনটো সেইবোৰ বাট আৰু পিছলৈ গৈ মই কেণ্টিনৰ কাৰণে পইচাৰ কাৰণে 10 টকা আৰ্টৱৰ্ক বিক্ৰী কৰিছিলো ড্ৰয়িংছ মই বনাইছিলো চ' সেনেকে মোৰ ড্ৰয়িঙৰ এটা হেবিট আছিলে আৰু সৰুৰ পৰা মই সেনেকে আঁকিছিলো মানে বেচিকলি copycat type. So I used to copy whatever I read in the comic books, whatever superheroes, was ZSLS, all those I copy. So my childhood was pretty much about comic books throughout my entire childhood. So comic books are my actually main inspiration so at the point I'm class 8 9 10 palu like usual ki hoy art bostu to na thake amar school jonto 3rd 4th standard like jonto art class thake grade eta satisfactory grade দিয়ে pass hoi jao ulai ahu kini loke mo art actually knowledge ase hey tar pisot mo art or olop dissociate hoi golu because mo studies ahi gol 10 ahi gol apuni jane 10 or he boards metric jonto pressure thake পঢ়ালৈ so হেবোৰ লৈ ফিলে সেনেকে so hey heneke kori kori hitu sideline হৈ গল আৰু আৰ্ট মই কেতিয়াবা ভাবা নাছিলো যে আৰ্টটো again will come back so মই 10ত আছিল মই I was really good in studies so my parents naturally ভাবিলে ইয়াক সায়েন্সত ভাল ইয়াক ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং মানে সায়েন্সত ল'ব লাগিব 11 12 তাৰপিছত ইঞ্জিনিয়াৰিং যাব লাগিব so মই usual path ফলো কৰিলো আৰু 11 লৈ গলো then I took up science as a subject তাৰপিছত মই পঢ়িলো তাৰপিছত I entrances দিছিলো আৰ্ট নাছিলে কোনো কথা এইবোৰ আৰ্ট নাছিলে so মই কলেজ পালোহি কলেজতহে মোৰ মেইন আৰ্টৰ মানে জাৰ্নি ষ্টাৰ্ট হ'ল so মই মানে মই গোটেই লাইফ ভাবিলো যে সায়েন্স আৰু মানে সায়েন্স was something science to engineering হয় বুলি like science and engineering both are the same things and I was really interested in physics so instead of doing BSc in physics or something like that I ended up taking engineering which was way different from what I'd expected and by second year I had realized that this is not what I wanted to study and মই তেতিয়ালে কি হল like I was stuck in a situation because মোক ঘৰৰ পৰা মোক allow কৰা নাছিলে to shift my branch মানে shift my whole course মানে মই ভাবিলো যে নাই মই কি কয় মই এটো নকৰো I'll take up BSc or something like that and then but obviously parents they wanted the best for me and so much of invested in me so hetu নহলে so situation to অলপ বেয়া হল then I sort of মই নিজে আঁকা start কৰিলো আকৌ so throughout those years all of depression on golu because I was not doing well in my college life at all I was failing in my subjects aru mo bhal mane it was really bad so that's when I again started drawing again so my class or horai bohi last bench ot bohi ma aki thakilu every day every single day so aki ma ki holi puruna jonto drawing or habit asile hetu ghuri ahile so heneke aki like just mo practice to bari gol even ghort ahiyo forcefully মোক বহাই থব লগা হৈছিলে টেবলত because exams থাকে পঢ়িব লাগিব আৰু ফেইল কৰি আছিলো so মই ষ্ট্ৰিক্ট আছিলে আৰু so সেইখিনি টাইমতো মই আঁকিলো so মই আঁকাৰ বাহিৰে মই একো চিনি নাপালো গোটেই মোৰ কলেজ লাইফ খিনি so সেনেকে আঁকি থাকিলো then I started reading on my own I started reading on metaphysics I started reading on physics mathematics and other stuff like on my own like I started buying books like so like Euclid's and maybe Pythagorean theorems like Mishokaku so I started buying books on my own out of my own interest so slowly I was reading and I was drawing I was reading I was drawing so both of them became like my most closest and the only thing that I actually could associate with so henai kori college oto mok enaka time asile jen teachers they didn't mind because মই আঁকি আঁকি মই ভাল হৈ গৈছিলো, so they used to like whatever I drew. সিহঁতে উল্টা মোৰ পৰা লৈহে যাব drawing to, like oh
Okay.
এইটো
Yes,
so I
it
want
is.
this.
Huh.
Yes, so it was kind of nice, even though it was really bad because on my end, because I was really not doing in my exams, I was failing.
Hmm.
But then one day, I was in third or fourth year, my friend
Hmm.
এটা মোক tag কৰিলে ফেচবুকত about Red Bull World Doodle Art Championship. So তেতিয়ালৈকে
Hmm.
মই কি কৰিলো, মই just for friends-ৰ কাৰণে মোৰ বহুত musician friends আছিলে, so মই
Hmm.
সিহঁতৰ কাৰণে মই আৰ্ট বনোৱা ষ্টাৰ্ট কৰিলো for the bands, like গুৱাহাটীতো এনেও বহুত গাল bands আছিলে আমাৰ টাইমত তেতিয়া. So মই সেনেকে মানে ফাৰ্ষ্ট প্ৰফেচনেল কাম মোৰ যদি ক'ব যায় সেই মোৰ লগৰৰ bands বোৰৰ কাৰণে আৰ্টৱৰ্ক বনোৱা আছিলে. So সেনেকে মোৰ অলপ এক্সপিৰিয়েঞ্চ হ'ল, আৰু সেইটো মানে প্ৰফেচনেল নাছিলে, ইটছ ভেৰি ইনফৰ্মেল. So
Okay.
then মোৰ ফেচবুকত টেগ yes
কৈ থাকা, continue.
oh yes, so heneke moi fourth year of Facebook মোক কোনোবা ট্যাগ কৰে, মোৰ লগৰ এটা ট্যাগ কৰিলে, so I saw the thing and competition to চালো, and then my friends were like John Cortoy, you've been doing so well, you've been drawing and you're genuinely talented in this and you want to do it, join Cortoy. And I thought this was my only key, this was my only way out of everything that I've been through, and like this is my chance. I need to excel in this. So up this up to this stage I was always been actively drawing day in and day out. So hetu karone ki hoy gol, I had practice, I had good amount of knowledge on what I need to draw, I had the confidence, so much competition to join korilu. I won the India round, then I went to Cape Town for the international round, so I won the internationals. So starting from that point I didn't look back. So the thing is, when the opportunity was there, I had the skills to actually make use of it. Jodi moi heneke depressed হৈ ফেলে বহি থাকিলো হয় নাকিলো হয়, then I wouldn't have got the I would have got the opportunity, but I wouldn't be able to perform that well. So he point to leke mane I was very different. Then after that I got my first international contract with Red Bull International, and then started working. Like then till then I also didn't know about design or art or graphic anything, or whatever I had known was all self-taught from YouTube. Nije kislu saislu imitate korislu drawings bur mo surroundings or jisi mo pohisilu. So by that time I eku iman knowledge nasile how to work on contracts, how to do graphic designing, how to illustrate things, how to materialize artwork. So I took up I learned everything on the job. Got my first contract. I said yes, I'm going to do it. I didn't back out. I didn't get intimidated or scared that অসমৰ পৰা গৈ ফেলে তাতে গৈ ঘপকে একো নাজানো মই ঘপকে মই কি কৰিম. So I took it up. I took it up as a challenge. I learned everything on the job. I did that. They were really pleased. And then after that, it's the rest is history. Like one thing led to the other. Then I started growing more. I started learning more. So even now, I'm learning a lot of things which I don't know about. So eneke kori, I'm where I'm right now, all because of this thing of habit of drawing.
That was like really, I mean, I have to tell you that I have gone through, so while I was, actually looking for your craft, seriously speaking, I have not seen so many of your stuff before. But যেতিয়া মই তোমাৰ কাৰণে research কৰিলো, I was like spellbound. Seriously speaking, it is so good. I mean, there's no comparison. I mean, it is really,
Thank you so much.
we know doodling is something which you just do, right? I mean, time pass enike at the back, like you said, backbenchers. So it was, I mean, I myself, I don't know how many fans you have. One of my cousin was like, Shantanu da ahi ase niki, so he's like your big fan, okay? So he was telling me aru mor family to bahut manhe painting kore ba hea kore, ki tumar juntu mane style, the there is something about your all the paintings that I have seen, your art, it's totally different. So actually, I want to know how did doodling come to you? Tumi paint nokori ba tumi craft canvas or painting nokori, doodling keneke what made you go and do doodling only, doodling art jeneke tumi arambho korila? What was the reason?
Like I said, jeneke mo class bohi akilu because I didn't have much I just had a pen and piece of paper or my notebook. So
Hmm.
that is how it all started. Heneke mo start hol. That is what doodling is. Pisole mo gompalu what actually it is when I actually started
Yeah.
learning about more about
So
doodling.
was it
It's
like
a
a
very new
time
thing.
pass for
It's
you?
not even an art style. It was different.
Hmm. Hmm.
No, it was
Hmm.
not
So
more
was
than
it
time
like a
pass. It was
time pass
something
for
that I
you
did.
initially?
Initially, you can say it was sort of like a distraction for me because I was really not like doing well. So more than
Hmm.
distract, it was more than the time pass thing. It was more like an inform that I can not be depressed. I cannot be
Hmm.
actually affected by things that are happening. So this was more like an escape for me.
Correct. Okay. Aru, uh, I want to understand, okay, what is the difference?
Coffee press. This is 5 minutes.
What is
Excuse me.
the, yeah, what is the difference between doodling and a normal, mane, juntu art koru ami? What is it so different about both the things? মানে মানুহ
So
তুমি
the
দেখিছা
difference is so doodling or key you're mostly your mind is somewhat in the center, like it's not properly focused on what you're drawing. At the
হুম
same time, it's not focused on anything else. So it's a state of limbo. মানে আপনার mind to এটা বস্তুত focus হৈ থাকে, but it's the focus is
হুম
suppose right now I'm talking with you and my hand
হুম
will be drawing something else on the paper. So
হুম
that's how the attention gets divided. So that's what the process of doodling is like. So you're
হুম
actually paying attention to something else while you're drawing something. But that drawing
okay
cannot be a scribble. It has to have a form, it has to have numbers or alphabets or anything. It has to have little bit of focus in it and little bit of idea in it.
হুম so
So this is actually a process which helps you think better. It's more like a meditative process than actually a scribbling process. So
okay
that's the essential difference between everything.
okay
So the process is what sets the difference, not the style or not the outcome of the thing. It's the
হুম
process which defines what doodling is.
হুম so আমি যেনেকা মানে
Acha,
according
just
to me,
can you?
can you hear me?
Huh,
Okay.
yes, I can hear you.
So all right. So for me, it was like basically মানে doodling করলে আমি বেশি concentrated না করু. Like in painting, we are basically looking into the picture, trying to portray what is there. So my idea of doodling was basically about just scribbling. Okay. So it's not like that. That's what you mean, right? কারণ তুমি যেতিয়া এটা কাম কৰিবা তুমি এটা
No,
পেইন্ট যেতিয়া outcome to যোনটো আমি চাম, that is not only what it is, right? Not the scribble part or just scribbling and just doing it just for the sake of it. Yes, I mean I've seen that your paintings are so
no,
beautiful. So it's not that, right? Which ideally like people think ki
thank you.
enuka hobo
No,
pare,
it's not that.
right? And
Yes, no.
yeah,
Pare. But
you
it's
know,
actually it's not meaningless exactly. People think it's
hmm,
scribbling, but it's not.
hmm, hmm. So do you draw randomly? To me, any draw kora ne you there is something in you, or you when you start off with a pain, do you have some idea behind, or do you go on with the flow?
So it depends. So it depends on most of the situation, a situation that I'm working in. So what happens is, suppose I have a brief, or there is a particular way that the design should come up. Then I have then I have an idea, a concept. But the process, the elements that go inside, is based on the process of doodling. What I said just now, having a
Hmm,
loose sense of direction. So basically,
hmm,
you have a skeleton of what you have idea that you want to make, suppose if you're working on a brief, and then the
hmm,
process is what I've said, it's a subconscious process of doing things. So
hmm,
that's how it works. If I'm doing something for my own, then it's completely, the process is exactly what I said. I have no idea and I've complete based on complete improvisation. But if there is a brief and there is a certain direction to a thing, because you need to have a certain outcome,
hmm,
তেতিয়া এটু দরকার হয়, the
yeah,
skeletonটা থাকা দরকার, the general concept এটা থাকা দরকার।
hmm. So তোমাৰ যেনেকুৱা যেতিয়া তুমি মানে do you take doodling as a challenge? Is there a challenge when you are actually making that script or making that sculpture, or wherever you do it. Like I have seen some of your pictures which we would share with you as well, and we would
Huh.
like to explain you, where it was,
Alright.
the
So
events that
just
followed.
before, just I'm really sorry to interrupt. Just
No,
before we
don't
get
ask.
to that,
Hmm.
can you give me 2 minutes because actually I'm flying back to Bombay, so I have to take a COVID test,
No problem.
like
Please carry on.
because according to
Carry on.
the Maharashtra government, just 2 minutes because they come to collect the sample. Or potokke
Go,
just
go,
2 minutes,
go.
so I'll just come. Like just 2 minutes. I'm really sorry for this, but they are
No, no,
already
that's
waiting. Just
okay.
two
That's
minutes.
okay. We understand. That's okay. Yeah, participants, if you have any question, you can leave your message on the chat box, or you can directly ask as well.
This Guwahati art project, does Shantanu leads it, or it's his company? Do you know?
Mm, you can ask that question to him.
Hello. Hello.
Hello? Yes.
Hi.
Is it done?
I'm so sorry. Sorry for
That's
that
okay.
interruption. Now I am we can take this forward.
Okay, fine. All right. So, my I want to
Hello.
know. Can you hear me? Okay. So the next question,
Yes.
which I want to ask you is, um, there are people who are great artists doing a lot of things
All
round the
right.
corner. So what do
All
you
right.
have to? I mean, how do you say, or how do we even, if somebody wants to take up doodling as a profession, so what is your advice to them?
See, like there is no such thing as doodling as a proper defined art form. What I do
Hmm,
is illustration, and doodling
hmm,
is just another style of work which is incorporated within illustrations. So what happens with this is like there's different branches of this. For example, you can definitely take up fine arts as art study, which involves
hmm,
painting, sculpting, the general thing. But what I do mostly is I work with almost all the mediums. So I'm a visual artist.
hmm,
So
hmm,
I do a lot of fine art stuff. I do a lot of contemporary. I do a lot of digital stuff also.
hmm.
So depending on what
So can
is
you
your favorite
elaborate a
medium,
little more, like as
if
a
you like
layman?
working with canvases or if you like doing
Hmm,
analog stuff, then you should
hmm.
elaborate on.
Can you elaborate more on the visual artist, Janakwa like
Yes, yes.
digitalization?
So that's what I'm.
How do you go forward? Like for a normal person, how does that person go forward if he wants to take this as a career option?
So, so first of all, you need to know what is your medium. So that's for that you need to experiment with every medium. Suppose you like working with paper. Suppose you
Hmm,
like working with. So basic thing you must know is to draw. So drawing is the most basic. It's like the ABC of anything that you do. So if you be it drawing, be it painting, be it sculpting, then you must know what is the future that you're looking for. Are you going to get into advertisements? Are you going to get into graphic designing? Are you going to get into galleries? Are you going to sell your paintings? Are you going to be a sculpture? So depending on your interest, you must explore the options. So there are a lot of courses. For example, there's
hmm,
graphic designing, there is visual communication, viscom, there is fine arts, there's multimedia studies, there's lots of branches that you can take up. But the thing is that the n number of subjects that you can study, but what are you really interested in? So digital, you have to work a lot with softwares, and it is, as the name suggests, is digital. So suppose you have to work on a laptop or CPU, you have to work with Wacom's drawing tablets, you must know program like Photoshop, you must know Illustrator, you must know the software. But analog is where you use is the analog form, it's not
hmm,
software.
hmm.
Digital, you have to use suppose you are a painter, so you would be working on canvas, not on your CPU. So basically, that's the whole difference. The basic difference is analog and digital. So depending on what you're interested in, you choose your path. Suppose you were more into analog and also into graphic designing, so you can do both. You can learn Photoshop. There are a lot of vocational courses. There are a lot of diploma courses on graphic designing and Photoshop and other softwares. You can learn that or take up a BSc degree in art or a master's in fine arts or a bachelor's in fine arts. You can do that, or you can also go the other way around. You can do a bachelor's degree in graphic designing or illustrations and then do a vocational course on fine arts and analog art forms.
Okay. Hmm. So there are a lot of options actually. Hoy na hoy.
Yes.
Huh.
Hi.
So,
A lot of
uh,
options. But the thing is, you must know what you're interested in.
correct. So, I mean, the door is open for everybody. So, how they take it is definitely what matters, right?
Yes.
Hmm. So, now tell me, we want to talk about your, the winning piece that you
Yes.
have drawn, and which have made you what you are today. I mean, no doubt there is the genius in you, okay, which you have been Your art has been selected amongst 33, so many participants. So how do you want to talk about it? আৰু আমাক অলপ কোৱা কি কৰিলা কেনেকে কৰিলা সবেই জানিব খুজিছে.
So during that time, I was really heavily influenced by Devdutt Patnaik and his books. So I was reading this book called Seven Secrets of Vishnu by Devdutt Patnaik, and that doodle artwork was a subconscious, uh, subconscious manifestation of what I was reading. So I made a drawing, which through the process of doodling, which I had explained. So I had made that art piece, which was based on the teachings of that book, which was there is if you can go to my page, if you can see the artwork, there has a lot of elements in it. So most of the elements are picked up from the book or the things that I have been reading. So unknowingly, that the process involved was completely based on improvisation and things that I have been doing, a subconscious manifestation of the things that I was reading. So you can see there are a six-headed snake, which is
Yes.
on which Vishnu sleeps on. Then as you go, there's natural there's nature, which is actually symbolizes the time. It symbolizes the coordinate of time, and nature is upholded by time. And below you can see a man which is meditative, is in a meditative state, and he or she encompasses the entire universe within itself. So we are a manifestation of the universe itself. So that's what the message was there. And bottom, you'll see a lot of gears and scientific stuff. So humankind uses science as a way to be certain about things, but science can only be certain about to a certain extent. So above that comes time, above that comes nature, above that comes physical existence. And way above all this comes a spirituality, comes a being which is beyond all of this realm. And it's illuminated by four lotuses, which symbolize the four heads of Brahma. So that's the whole art piece in a nutshell. The realm of time and universe as a whole was the thing which I tried to incorporate in my winning art piece.
আৰু it was really amazing. I mean, মই যেতিয়া তোমাৰ পিচটো চাই আছিলো, I mean, I was actually trying to figure out, okay, because initially to ইমান মানে আইডিয়া নাথাকে নহয়, কিন্তু সঁচাই ক'ব লাগিব যে it's really 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 beautiful. কিমান ঘন্টা লাগিছিলে এইখন বনাওতে তোমাৰ?
8-9 ঘন্টামান লাগিছিল।
8-9 ঘন্টা, বাপৰে বাপ। তাৰমানে পুৰা চাগে মানে so how long was the competition? I mean, for how were you given like a free hand ki
It was long. It was no. There was one design which was submitted, and it was judged on one design only throughout.
Okay. No. I mean, superb. Okay, no doubt about it. All right. So, Ami, we'll take you through to your slides now.
Thank you.
All right, so that you can explain us. Iman gan kam korisa, so let the audience even see to it what you have done. And there are many numerous paintings which we could not incorporate. We thought we will take some of it which we want to show you. So you need to tell us one by one. Erarage koba what ki korisla, or you need to explain that as well. So teaser, can you present the slide, please? Okay, I'm sorry for the name. Actually, it is Shantanu. So we'll correct that. Okay.
Can you see the screen now?
I can see the screen. Can you scroll
It's
it?
the story of my life now.
Okay.
Just scroll down.
Yeah, hold on.
I guess there's a little bit of network issue, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, Shantanu, we want to know with regards to the picture which is there in the screen, if you can explain to us. Can you hear me, Shantanu? I think,
I think
yeah, I think it's just logged out. We just wait for him to come in.
yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, he's there. Shantanu, you are okay. Can you hear me now?
So I'll do the.
Can you explain to us with regards to the picture which is there in the screen now?
Hello. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. Okay, I'll turn off my video. Yes, I understand. Santanu, can you hear me? Santanu, you are on mute.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you. So I've
Yes.
switched on. If you can, yes, take us through this slide, please.
So this one I was part of NDTV Youth Conclave, where I presented one of my paintings to Amitabh sir of NDTV, and it was back in 2015 or 16, I presume.
Okay.
And the art piece that I gifted him was called the April. April. So April signifies the turn of, like, the oncoming of spring and wealth and bounty, to be specific.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's nice. All right. Teaser, can you show the next? Yes. Yeah,
This
Dia
was
Mirza.
again part of the same youth conclave, which I was yes, I was in the panel on discussion for this youth conclave. So I presented another art piece, which was the winning doodle piece. So this
Okay.
was a signed print on sunboard for our Dia Mirza here. So it was the same art piece that I had done for the competition, which was called Inclusion.
Okay. All right. That's nice. That's really nice. Okay, the next one, please. এইখন আগত থাকবা নেকি?
So this one was done. So this was part of a telemarathon, which was on for 12 hours. Again, on NDTV program, and I shared the stage during the whole 12 hours of panel discussion on environment and Swachh Bharat. So the I made was actually symbolic of how youth can help preserve the nature around us by decreasing the carbon footprint of everyone or
Okay.
their respective carbon footprint.
Awesome. Really awesome. Okay, the next one, please.
Next one is the artwork, which was the doodle piece. We
Correct.
already talked about the inclusion. You can see the elements now clearly. You can see the meditative character in the center. You can see the gears and scientific stuff that is there. You can see nature on top.
Hmm. So this was your winning piece,
I
right?
can't see the slides. I
You
can't
can't see
see
the slides? Okay.
anymore.
Okay. Yes, please carry on. Can you see now? Can you see the slides, Santanu?
Yes, I can see the slides.
You can see. All right. Okay. You will already explain to us regarding this. We'll go to the next one.
Yes.
There's so much of network issues. Everybody is having some problem or the other. Yes. Can you explain this one? It's so
So
beautiful again.
So this one is it was done for World Tarot Card Project based in
Mhm.
Washington DC. So here this was a special card which I designed as a tarot card pack. So this symbolizes the Seven of Wands, which is actually a card which is symbolic of depth and perseverance. So
Okay.
here you can see there is a deep sea diver which is holding a lantern, which is a persevering symbol of toil and hard work, and is walking
Okay.
on the ocean floor
Hmm.
where there are seven harpoons coming out.
All
So
right.
basically, the seven wands are the seven
Uh-huh.
harpoon, and the depths and the depth is symbolized by the depths of the ocean.
Hmm. Hmm. That's my God. I mean, there is so
And the
much of.
clarity is the lantern, which is guiding the.
Hmm, hmm. Yes, actually, very true. I mean, I can see.
Sorry, I can't. I
Okay. Who is to me? I'm sorry to interrupt.
okay. No, I think that's all for this one.
All right. Okay. Next one, please. Can you show the next one, teaser? Uh, I think there is some network issue. Teaser, are you there? Okay. I think she has just. Okay. I guess she'll log in again. So we'll just try to.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Till she comes back. Etya, Etya, তুমি কি কৰি আছা? What are you doing right now? What are your future projects?
Right now, I'm working on my setting up my own studio, and there are a few projects that I'm working on with some of my old clients, like with Fizz and a few other musician friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
But pretty much that's what we are working on right now. And actually, I've just not stopped taking any projects till I set up my studio space. So I'm planning to set it up in either Bombay or Delhi soon.
All right. Okay. All the best.
Thank
And
you.
so আৰু তাৰ বাহিৰে, okay, you can go. Okay, তাৰ বাহিৰে আৰু বাকি what do you do apart from doodling? What are the other things that you do? What are your interest area?
I think I like to paint. I like music, so I work on my own studio. one or two instruments like the didgeridoo and a little bit of bass. Yes,
Mhm.
pretty much that's it. Nothing else. And I like playing video games, of course. So
Okay, so you keep spending a lot of time in painting and painting and painting. All right, that's good. I
yes,
mean, মই
yes.
জানো কেতিয়াবা আমাৰ এনেকুৱা obsession হৈ যায় নহয়, কোনোবা বস্তু যদি আমাৰ ভাল লাগে, we just get obsessed with
Hello.
that.
Actually, the network is really bad. মই শুনা পোৱা নাই ভালকে.
আচ্ছা, তুমি শুনা পোৱা নাই। আচ্ছা,
Hello.
মই Okay, what I was saying is that I mean sometimes painting becomes an obsession for any kind of likings become an obsession for all of us, right? So I guess
Yes.
for you painting is an obsession. I mean it's like an obsession for you. Okay, Tiza, you're back. Can you show us the slide, the rest of the slides?
Yeah,
Will
sure.
you be
I'm so
able to do
sorry.
that?
Yeah.
Okay, we understand there's a lot of network issue today.
Yeah, yeah. Just give me a second. Yeah.
Meantime, Shantanu, this is Milin. I have a question for you.
Hmm.
What is the gap? Are you started?
Yes.
Could you tell us more about gap?
So GAP is an art and design collective. It's called Guwahati Art Project. So me and so growing up in Guwahati, we never had any exposure to the design industry as such, art and design to be specific. So me and some of my friends who are working outside of Guwahati, Southeast region, we got together to start an art collective to actually provide and expose our crowd in Northeast to so this is essentially an platform. It essentially is a platform where we try to showcase and promote art from our region, and also try to connect people from different art backgrounds to have a common how to say to on a common platform. So this is essentially what the whole idea of Guwahati Art Project is. So we do workshops, we do online promotion, we do a lot of online events and seminars, and mostly revolving around art and design.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other? So let's continue with the slides, okay? এখনৰ কথা কবা নেকি?
So this was a project that I did for Zoomcar and Red Bull. So I did an entire doodle art Ford figure for which was used as an exhibit for exhibition around different regions in India. So it was like a driving art piece for the promotion
Okay.
of doodle art.
Okay. So that was really beautiful. I mean, I have to say this. So is there any more
Thank you.
slides? Okay. Let's come back to this one. What have you depicted in this picture? In this
This is more of like rough work, like a practice that I had done. So this was I was bored and there was a canvas lying around. So I just wanted to study the signature style which I do around my artwork. So I was just practicing the whole fluidic, the fluid, how like to make my structures more fluidic. So this is essentially an practice piece. So you can
Okay.
see there's a lot of I use a lot of high detail and a lot of how to say ribbons, so as to put it, as an elemental form in most of my artworks. So this is an process or sort of say a practice piece of that.
প্ৰেক্টিচতে ইমান ধুনীয়া হলে মানে বাকিটো এৰিয়ে দিলো মই বুজিছা ইমান গাল কাম মানে these are some of the pictures which we have just randomly picked up, but I'm
Okay.
sure you have been doing an amazing job and
Thank you so much.
really appreciated, and
Thank you
you
so
have
much.
taken your name to new heights, Guwahatiৰ বা অসমৰ তুমি নৰ্থ ইষ্টৰ ইমান নাম কৰিছা, it's really commendable. And definitely, I mean, we want more and of you more of your work to be, um, seen and known, and so that people have actually taken an encouragement from your side to do doodling. Actually muru nijoru koribo, I used to do a little bit of painting, but trust me on this, I also feel like doing this now, you know so that's something which has come up
Okay.
for me, as well
Thank you
as
so much.
like you koribo parim niki enake moi mane bhabisu bujisa. Okay, so aru kabar
Thank
kiba
you so much.
questions ase niki? Anybody wants to ask any more questions?
Shantanu, this is Millen again. I have a question.
Mhm.
So generally, quite a lot of people, artists, they're known as the struggling artists, right? But looking at you, it doesn't feel like you are a struggling artist. So, as a financial point of view, um, what do you say for the young people who wanted to go to art? Is this viable to be an artist? How hard it is to be an artist? Can they survive just being artists, or they have to do some other profession and on the side they can do artists? Could you please elaborate something about that? You're mute, uh, Shantanu. Uh, you're mute.
Yes.
So sorry. So it's a very dicey. Yeah, it's a really good question. So, sorry, there was a call coming in. So I'm really sorry for that. So it's a very a good question actually, because this situation of artists being self-sufficient and independent and being financially stable is actually an age-old how to say paradox. So what I did was I never limited my skills to just one set of art form. I expanded according to what I was needed to do. So my skill set doesn't only encompass just analog. So I when for me to actually make a living out of my art pieces for a certain time, I had to heavily rely on digital work, heavily rely on graphic designing, which is much more industry based and applied art. So I learned more skills which was required to actually sustain my analog art. So depending on what kind of depending on your situation that you're in, if you're not earning enough money, if you're not being able to sustain yourself, you must realize that you have to expand and you must be open to other art forms. You must know how to learn and adapt to situations. So because of which I got I learned graphic designing, I learned illustrator, I learned Photoshop and other stuff, which was helping me sustain myself and also my art.
Thank you. And having your thing as a Gap, is the Gap company not going to sue you? Just wondering.
No, so this is very local, and it's like we actually we're registered as a different name. It's not like just essentially Gap, and it's just Guwahati Art Project. So the logo is very like it's just a work in process. We actually are not gonna be using Gap as a Gap thing like the logo that you see here. So it's just
Okay.
gonna be Guwahati Art Project without the initials.
Okay. And I'm very happy that you have that initiative, because we realize that lots of young people, in specifically in Guwahati, have mental health issues, and there's so much of concrete
Yes.
jungle nowadays. There's no outlet. You cannot go for. There's not many,
Yes.
jogging area or place where people can do artist work, or could be, we couldn't find any pottery studio, for example. I think like art and exercise or art, really keep people. Being creative is very important, and I think because the creativity, there's not much scope of creativity. Quite a lot of young people, I feel, that have some mental health issues. So in your
Yes.
Guwahati art project, will there be a studio, physical studio where people can walk in,
Yes.
that they
Soon
can
will
do,
be.
for example, sorry.
Yes, so there we were planning to set up a studio before COVID situation and everything. So there will be studios. We do on ground workshops and interactions, and we had a few studio. We had one studio, but unfortunately, one of our members had to shift to London. So since then, the studio was no longer functional. So very soon, by next year, we'll be planning to set up our own studio space.
Okay.
And will you have like pottery area, or will you have areas where
So no, this will
people, if
be.
they,
Yes, like mostly like sculpture and different art forms. That's what you're trying to say, right?
Hmm.
Sorry,
yeah,
but
or
the network is really bad, so it's getting overlap.
okay, I was also thinking like if somebody want to do nude painting, for example, many places they
Huh,
have artists come and model who
huh,
pose, and people
huh.
can come in and they give money, and then they do, drawing. Will that be possible? I do not know. I'm just thinking aloud because I'm
Yes,
very
there is
excited
very
about
much,
your
and
project.
there is.
Sure,
No,
go ahead.
that is very much a possibility. There is very much a possibility. Like we're gonna incorporate as much as we can. So, but we are mostly, all of us are mostly analog and artists. So basically, gonna be design oriented more than analog or fine art oriented. So
Sure.
we definitely have possibilities of setting up pottery or sculpturing and studios like this as we expand. Because right now we're very limited to only four of us, and all of us are like illustrators and painters. So none of us are actually from the fine arts background. We're mostly designers. Hello.
And are you coming back to Guwahati, or are you going to be permanent resident in Mumbai or Delhi?
Most probably Bombay and Delhi, and like Guwahati, I'll be visiting when the studio is set up. But mostly I keep on traveling: Guwahati, Bombay, Delhi.
Hmm.
Uh, and I think that's why we have started Enazoi, so that our people like you are back in Guwahati and Assam, because we need you here to train our people and create more of Shantanus.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Um, I have a question, Shantanu. This is Tiza here. So
Yes, tell me.
yeah, like, do is there any structured way of learning doodling, or is it something that you just pick up on the way, like the way you have done?
No, this is a process. Like I said, there's no structure to this. This is a very process oriented.
So it's not like, yeah. So you should probably just have passion for it, right?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Yes, you should not actually be properly based on structures, but just focus on the process.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Anybody has any other questions?
Okay, guys. Actually, I have to be. Sorry, I have to leave in a bit. So thank you so
Okay.
much for having me here. It was really interesting. And I really love what you are doing with Anajori and everything back home. This is quite inspirational because I see more and more people being enthusiastic about their own hometown, which is really good. So I hope I was able to explain and give you a proper rundown on how things and what I had to face, and hope it will help other all the viewers get inspired to do more. So thank you
Yes.
so much for having me.
Okay, Santanu. So before you leave, I also
Thank
would like to thank you for being here on the show and giving your time out. Okay, we from Managery is really grateful that you have be, being so busy. You have joined us and you've given your ample time being in Goa, being a lot of here and there. So thank you once again and wish you all the very best.
thank you so much and happy new year. All right. Bye bye.
Yes. Happy New Year and Happy New Year to all of you. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay.